We are back on Rooted and Radiant. I am your host, Ashley, and I'm so excited that you are here with me. We are continuing in our series, Inside the Male Mind. This is the second time I've done this, so you're welcome. I know how much y'all loved it when I did this last year, and I have a special guest, which is already in the frame. This is his fourth time being on the pod, and this might be the first time where I've actually introduced him because I usually let him introduce himself, but I'm taking charge today. So I do have notes, and I'm going to officially introduce him. William, which I never call him William, but William Thomas is an actor currently dedicated to bringing characters to life on stage and screen. Before starting his acting career, he sharpened dynamic communication skills and gained a unique understanding of personal stories through years in radio and a successful stint in the life insurance industry, where he developed a strong ability to connect with people from diverse backgrounds. Now, William is applying that experience and passion to acting, studying at the VFA in Tampa, Florida, which is where we are. A tireless supporter of the arts, William is eager to explore new roles and broaden his repertoire. In the vibrant acting world, I'm trying to be serious, y'all. Fun fact, Will was probably like maybe the second person I met when I moved here a little over 4 years ago. And fast friends. And one of those people you connect with and you just know, like, this person's just going to be in my life. So I thought it would be very great because I knew he has a lot of opinions about a lot of things, but I knew he'd have a lot of opinions about this topic, which is why we are here. Well, today we're talking about ghosting. Why men ghost? Like, why is that a thing? And y'all know I'm going to be asking the hard questions. But as always, I want you to leave every single episode feeling challenged, encouraged, and feeling inspired. And today will be no different. Ladies, just take a deep breath. We're going to get through this episode, I promise. Last time he was here, we asked like fun facts and questions, but there's only one question that I'm going to ask him this time because it's my new favorite question to ask my guest. Is what is one question that someone has never asked you that you would hope someone asked you?
Wow. Yeah, that definitely wasn't in the email. So let me see. One question. I guess, are you happy? I think it's a very surface level question. Most people ask, I guess in their own unique way, but really happy, like from a internal perspective. So yeah, that's like, hey, are you okay? Usually, how's your day going? Never, are you happy? I think it's important.
What is the answer to the question? Are you happy?
I create my own happiness. So yes, I am happy.
Okay.
As you know, I walk around happy, frustrated sometimes.
Yeah.
I can find a humor in most things. That's why it's so challenging to sit here and be serious, because all I want to do is crack a joke. So.
Okay. So before we get into like the deep questions, let's start with honesty, which they tell you in school is the best policy. So have you ever ghosted someone and why?
Honestly.
Okay.
Honestly, probably before I did the work on myself, probably ghosted a lot of people, but not just in a relationship, in a friendship as well. So yeah, absolutely. But I think people also ghost themselves too, because
Okay, tell me more.
sometimes I think ghosting is just fear of accountability in a lot of senses. So some people just don't show up for themselves, which is kind of like ghosting too.
Okay. And what do you feel like is the reason why ghosting nowadays has become so common? Like, why is it such a very normal thing in today's culture to ghost people?
Because it's easy. It's so easy to escape difficult questions. It's easy to avoid confrontation. It's easy to not have to navigate your feelings. So when you're in a relationship space, people want accountability. And if you haven't reached a level of maturity where accountability is something that you thrive off of, or is an environment that you're comfortable in, it's really easy to just say, block, delete, and move on.
Interesting. Interesting. So you talked about this, the fear of accountability. And I think that that is a lot of it is based in fear because most people see that as confrontation and it's just easier. And I've learned, I just finished reading The Slight Edge. And in that book, he talks about anything that you do in life when it comes to good habits, bad habits, it's easy to do and it's easy not to do. And you can apply it to any area of your life. It's easy not to do it and it's easy to do it. So let's get inside the male mind because I know this is why you're all here. What is usually going on in a man's mind when he pulls away and decides, I'm going to ghost this person?
So it just honestly depends on the person. It could be anything from loss of attraction, could be you, could be a lot of drama in the situation. And some people want to protect their peace, and the easy way out is to ghost. I think a lot of it could be lack of accountability, women having unrealistic expectations. Not saying that the man isn't accountable for that as well. Unprocessed feelings, past trauma, fear of commitment. I know that was mine for a long time. And for me, honestly, sometimes it's just needing space. I'm an Aquarius. I need time away.
What?
I do. Yeah, I can't. I'm not a get off of work, drive right into the house. I might sit in the car and listen to a song for a little bit before I come in. So it's just knowing yourself. Therapy. If you find yourself consistently being ghosted or ghosting somebody, I would look into that.
Okay. Avoidance, fear, lack of communication. Where do you feel like that stems from? Like the person not doing the inner work or just wanting to avoid confrontation altogether?
Everything's inner work. Everything. So if you find patterns, underneath patterns, there's trauma, there's emotion. It's just like making a commitment to yourself. You wake up every morning and say, hey, I'm going to go to the gym. Then the first day it rains. No, not going to go. First day you have a cramp. First time somebody makes plans during the time that you're supposed to be holding yourself accountable to do the things that you need to reach the goals. So it's just people just don't like to be held accountable.
Okay. So this is something that I've definitely thought about because I have definitely, I would say younger me has definitely ghosted. More mature
Yeah, don't say
me,
older.
because I'm definitely not older, y'all.
No,
I'm still in my 20s.
that's right.
More mature me would say that I haven't, but I have been ghosted. And a lot of the times, I think the first thing that you're thinking about, what did I do? Like, why? And so I want to get behind the question, is ghosting about the woman or is it usually about the man's own state of mind?
Ghosting is always, regardless of what the situation is, it's about the ghoster's state of mind. Communication skills, immaturity, anxiety, personal problems. Sometimes it could just be a misunderstanding. I've seen situations where, people were just uncomfortable telling somebody that they didn't want to be in that type of relationship with them. Sometimes just you don't want to hurt the person's feelings. They could be a really amazing person and being nice, and because you don't want to be the bad person, you just figure, hey, if I just block them and disappear, it'd be easier. But it's always the ghoster's internal state. And that's why you should take your time with getting to know people. Try to be a friend first and just communicate. Like if the person can't communicate with you about their expectations in a relationship and your expectations up front, you're gonna have a difficult time. And ghosting is usually with the climate that we're in and how easy it is. It's just a really convenient way to avoid conflict. Wouldn't recommend it, but it's a button.
So I know that what I think I hear you're saying is ghosting has nothing to do with women. If it's a man that's ghosting a woman, it has everything to do with where the man is. So if you're a woman listening to this and you've been ghosted and you're thinking like you did something wrong, or, it really has nothing to do with you. And it has everything to do with the person on the other side of the phone who maybe is not mature enough. Like Will just said, maybe not mature. It has nothing to do with your self-worth. And you should thank them. What's is very interesting to me, is that the same people who ghost, and this is a question I did not have in my notes, y'all, but I'm going to ask. The men that ghost, in my experience, always come back. They always like randomly pop up out of nowhere and like reach out and want to say, "Hey, what's up?" Like,
No, ma'am.
you're gonna return as usual. Like, what is that about? Like, why do men do that?
So in a situation like that, my assumption would be they're probably dating multiple women, and the woman that they thought was going to be the one probably ended up not being the one, and you were just the most convenient option on that list. So unless somebody has a really compelling reason that is believable, yeah, I mean, really compelling reason that's believable, I think you should just kind of move forward. There's millions of men in this world, literally men. Maybe not in your area. I don't know where you live, but if it's that bad, you should probably relocate. But millions
Ooh.
of men in this world. Like, if somebody doesn't have enough respect for you to at least call you and tell you why they no longer want to continue down that relationship path, then that's just going to translate into the relationship where they do other things that show they have no respect. So I believe men, again, we've had this conversation, it's always actions. Words, very easy, in and out. You can say whatever you say, but how people show up for you is going to show you how they show up for you pretty much forever. They'll be consistent. So I would not welcome any human being that decided I was not worthy enough to just call and say, hey, I don't think we should continue down this path. We should deviate towards maybe a friendship route, or just not communicate at all. You don't have enough respect to take the time out of your day to tell me that, I'm probably not going to speak to you forever.
Forever. Okay.
Forever, ever.
So in that situation, is your first response, and we're gonna talk to you specifically, ladies, here in a second, is your response to block someone who goes to you? Or you just kind of let them live their life, and if they reach out, you just don't respond?
I mean, it depends. Some people are emotionally triggered by seeing the name or the notification popping up. You have to know yourself. If you're somebody that knows you're weak and you will go right back to that person, especially if there was some physical involvement that might have been mutual satisfaction, you might tend to that pop up and you're like, if you know yourself and you know you don't have the capacity to say no, then yeah, I would say block them. But
Mm,
no, I don't block anymore. I am a reformed blocker.
okay.
You have to really, really take away my peace for me to block.
Okay. So you think it's situational and based on the person, because my perspective on ghosting, I do think kind of runs parallel in the sense of depending on like the length of time and like how long you knew that person and what was the depth of the relationship. I do feel like sometimes it's just blocking is just a safer option if you are someone that is struggling with maybe figuring out your worth or realizing like
I agree.
I might respond just to see what he wants, or it's like the temptation of that. There was a time in my life where I was in a relationship like that, and it was a very toxic relationship, and we would break up and like clockwork to the hour. I could tell you 3 weeks from today, I'm going to get a text, "Hey, what's up?" or "Hey, big head," or just like the random text out of nowhere. Like 3 weeks was the max he could go without talking to me, and I would get a text. And every single time I would respond. Now, this is right out of college me, and was again caught up in a toxic cycle. And so, what I have found is what you normalize and what you think is normal makes you think what isn't normal actually normal, if that makes sense. Like,
Does
it was very toxic. But because that was normalized for me, I thought, oh, okay, this is just what we do. Ghosting is not a normal thing.
no.
It's a lack of accountability. It's a lack of wanting to communicate what you need and how you're feeling. And it shouldn't be about hurting someone's feelings or not. Like, suck it up, buttercup. That goes both ways. I want to end with this because, ladies, I really want to help y'all. The truth that women really need to hear that men don't tell us. So, Will, tell us, if you could tell women one truth about ghosting that would free them from self-blame, what would it be?
And that would be easy if there was one truth. So many
Feel
first.
free to tell more than
Oh,
one. To say multiple, I'm sure the women would appreciate that. You're welcome in advance.
so I mean, I would say First, you gotta consider personal help if it's something that you can't navigate by yourself. Acknowledge your feelings, journaling, getting into a group with women that have not only been ghosted, but have gone through some type of traumatic experience so you can talk about it, because ghosting really absolves a person from providing closure, which I think a lot of people look for, especially if it was a relationship. Now, if you're having a difficult time getting over somebody you met 3 weeks ago, I mean, prayer is important, but I also think there needs to be a little bit of like self accountability. Avoid over analyzing, playing it back over in your head. What could you have done differently? What could you have done to change the situation? One thing I do is I reframe the experience. So not that the person wasted my time. It's like I got an opportunity to find out some things about myself that I didn't know before. And I could tie that into any type of relationship. And then most importantly, focus on self-care. Hang out with people that bring you joy. Don't sit around and watch sad, depressing movies all day long. Get outside, join a gym, join a Bible club, join a women's group. Like, there's support systems out there, but you have to actively look for them, especially in your community. So just avoid blaming yourself, because most of the time it's us. Now, I will say, in the one situation, if you're consistently getting ghosted,
Talk about it.
you might be the problem. So you got to look at patterns. If every single guy that you speak to eventually decides that they no longer want to continue to speak to you, and they can't even find it in themselves to call you and tell you that, they just consistently run, then you might be. Outside of that, like I said before, ghosting is almost always on the ghoster's state of mind and maturity. But
Yeah.
accountability on both parts is necessary.
Okay. So it's more about them and less about you. So your woman listening to this, see ghosting as a redirection, not a rejection. And Ariana Grande says it best. Thank you next. Like, it gives you the information that you need
You know that song?
to move on. It's a song that she's saying thank you next. It's about like a breakup or something. And she's just basically saying, like, thank you next. Like, we're not doing that. We're not putting up with that. Maybe it was before his time.
Before my time. Jesus. The song came out in the 80s?
No, it was not before your time. Okay. So I want to recap a couple of things. Ghosting is usually more about him than it is her. Pulling away, someone deciding to pull away from you, doesn't define your value as a woman. But like Will said, and this can go both ways, if you're the guy that's consistently being ghosted, you are the problem. If you're a girl that's consistently getting ghosted, you are the problem. There is something that you're missing. And like Will said, tap into the community, have conversations with other people. Realize that communication and clarity matters more than chasing answers. Like, know who you are as a person and be okay with the fact that you're not always going to get closure. And this is something that I'm learning, and I have to constantly tell myself, do not overanalyze. Embrace peace when it happens. Just don't overanalyze and take things as they come, but just be very aware of what you want, and make sure when you are in those situations that you are communicating the things that you need. And if they're not ready to raise up, then bye-bye. There's someone else that can fill those shoes happily. There's millions of people in this world, and so we're not going to settle on men with tails.
Average.
I should say boys with tails, because they're not really men.
Yeah. You don't want anything average. Everything needs to be above average.
Yes.
We're not settling for any average stuff. 25 to 2020, ever.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to leave with the people before I tell them how to stay connected to you?
Man, your friend circle should not always be positive information about you. They should be I'm just saying, because I have people in my life that have to had difficult conversations with me that I didn't appreciate at the time, but were necessary for growth. So I think a friend assessment, when you realize that there's a pattern and a pattern doesn't work in your favor, whether it's ghosting or relationships, Sit down with people that you trust and that you know love you and ask them what are some of the patterns or what are some of the negative things you notice about me. And don't get offended, but see what you can do to kind of pivot away from that direction that you're going into. Because the more you know about yourself, the easier it is for you to bounce back when you go through difficult times. And then you'll develop a pattern of resilience, which will, I think, take you further in life, whether that be professionally or personally. So get some good people around you. People that are not just yes men, people that are not just going to tell you what you want to hear. Get some people that tell you, like, look, you know, your breath stinks. That's why most men don't call you back. I mean,
No, it's so true. I
it's true.
mean, it is that's very true. I agree with that. You should be around people like my friend Dina would say, "Love you, Dina." Be around people that hold you to your highest self.
Yes.
And someone that holds you to your highest self is going to tell you when you are accepting things in your life that are below your
Oof.
highest self. And if they're not, they're probably not your friends. It should be uncomfortable. It should challenge you to be better. But not everybody is surrounding themselves around people that actually sharpens them. That's what the Bible talks about. Iron sharpens iron, which means we all got rough edges that need to be sharpened. Unfortunately, me less edges than most. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You have all your edges. Hair is covering them, but you can't see all our edges.
But we all have rough edges that need to be like smoothed out.
It's not comfortable being smoothed out either. So
It's extremely
sometimes
uncomfortable.
it's going to be painful. Sometimes it's going to come with a lot of self-reflection. Sometimes you're going to think about things you could have done differently, but it's natural and it's needed. Yeah, definitely. Good people around you will help in a lot of situations.
Okay. And tell the people how they can stay connected to you, your acting career, everything that is going on in the world of Will.
Well, man, I don't know if I want everybody to stay connected. I mean,
Ah,
so people are crazy. So as far as like social media, I only have Instagram. It is 1115 Wilmore Street, which I know you might be thinking, why would he name his Instagram? That's actually where I grew up in Brooklyn. So I had an Instagram page before, but I got in trouble with the FCC. I think that's who it would be, Federal Trade Commission. I don't know. So they took it down. So I had to start from scratch. So I just decided to go that route. Don't give me that look.
oh,
So, but that's the only way, because I'm not going to give you my phone number because I only get like 500 text messages a month with my current plan.
well, obviously, I want people to stay connected with you on Instagram. I'm not going to give out your personal information, Will.
But just reach out to her. If you really need to speak to me about something, you can reach out to her. She can connect us, and then we can get, a conversation going. But yeah, that's it. I mean, outside of that, everything that I have in life is through her. Yeah. So just, if you need me for anything that's positive, only positive, just reach out to her and she'll reach out to me. And I might reach out to you.
Oh my goodness.
Possibly. It's about 65% chance
Possibly.
I might reach out to you.
Well, if you've listened to the pod at all when Will has come on, this is very on brand for him. But this will be the first time that you guys have seen him on the screen. So you're welcome, because I have evolved a lot since then, because he came on the pod in the early days when I think I just started my podcast, maybe 6 months in. And this is his fourth time. And we're now 2.5 years into my
Wow.
podcast. So he is one of my biggest supporters. So thank you, Will, for being
Yes.
here. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it's rooted_radiant podcast. And yeah, every Thursday this month, I'm going to be dropping a new episode for Inside the Male Mind. And there's a lot more good stuff coming. So just set your alarm and don't miss it. And if you're not following me on Spotify, go on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So until next time, love y'all.
Love y'all too.